Welcome to Part 2, Understanding Null Hypothesis Testing. We are talking about the role of the sample size and relationship strength. Although the table above provides only a rough guideline, it shows very clearly that weak relationships based on medium or small samples are never statistically significant, and that strong relationships based on medium or large samples are always statistically significant. So if you keep this in mind, you will often know whether a result is statistically significant based on the descriptive statistics alone. It is extremely useful to be able to develop this kind of intuitive judgment. One reason is that it allows you to develop expectations about how your formal null hypothesis tests are going to come out, which in turn allows you to detect problems in your analysis. For example, if your sample relationship is strong and your sample is medium, then you would expect to reject the null hypothesis. If for some reason your formal null hypothesis test indicates otherwise, then you need to double check your computations and interpretations. A second reason is that the ability to make this kind of intuitive judgment is an indication that you understand the basic logic of this approach in addition to being able to do the computations. Statistical significance versus practical significance. So the table that we looked at above illustrated another extremely important point. A statistically significant result is not necessarily a strong one. Even a very weak result can be statistically significant if it is based on large enough a sample. So this is closely related to Janet Shibley-Hyde's argument about sex differences. The differences between women and men in mathematical problem solving and reading comprehension are statistically significant. But the word significant can cause people to interpret these differences as strong and important, perhaps even important enough to influence the college courses they take or even who they vote for. So as we have seen, however, these statistically significant differences are actually quite weak, perhaps even trivial. So this is why it's important to distinguish between the statistical significance of a result and the practical significance of that result. Practical significance refers to the importance or the usefulness of the result in some real-world context. Many sex differences are statistically significant and may even be interesting for purely scientific reasons, but they're not practically significant. In clinical practice, this same concept is often referred as clinical significance. For example, a study on a new treatment for social phobia might show that it produces a statistically significant positive effect. Yet this effect might not be strong enough to justify the time, effort, and other costs of putting it into practice, especially if easier and cheaper treatments that work almost as well already exist. Although statistical significant, this result would be said to lack practical or clinical significance. And this is the end of the chapter on understanding null hypothesis testing.